as is no secret, last week I found an excuse to ride a bicycle and get drunk every day. And it's called ragbri. It hasn't happened lately, but we've done it 13 years. And for a few years in a row.
You've done it for 13 years?
Started 13 years ago.
I thought like 4 or 5 maybe. That's impressive.
Started 13 years ago. We've missed a few here and there, but for the most part, we've been doing it 13 years. A few years in a row, my lovely bride was having that time of the month during that week. And I was like, holy shit, man. Every year you're putting the rag in ragbri. I don't remember anything else that day, by the way. For the uninitiated, it's a ride on bicycles from the Missouri River to the Mississippi River in Iowa. Takes a different route every year. And there are about 15 to 20,000 people who take part. That does not count the other 5 to 10,000 people who are considered the support crews. What we do is we drive our car to eastern Iowa, we get on a bus, throw all our shit in a trailer, drives across to western Iowa, and then we get up, ride our bikes, and the support crew hauls our shit from one town to the next. And then we ride our bikes to the next town, we camp in somebody's yard, use their bathroom, drink their beer, and then we get up the next day, do it all again. And along the way, there's little towns that you stop in along the way. And these little towns usually have a beer garden, the bars are open. So if you think ragbri is just an excuse to ride a bike and get drunk, well, mister, you are exactly right. The bus is a 1991, which is relatively new on ragbri standards. And we just got it this year.
It's not quite the chicken bus they use down in South America. It's
not quite. The previous bus was an old, like a 1971 school bus. And it has a bathroom in it, which is like an RV bathroom. But in order to keep it from stinking and to keep us from having to go to an RV park to empty it, the guy who owns the bus, who bought the bus, said no shitting in the toilet. Pee only. Don't put your toilet paper in there. Don't shit in the toilet. Right? Big deal. Made a big deal out of it. No shitting in the toilet.
right.
Well, the first day I get in there and I'm like peeing. I'm like, wow, there's a big Duke down there in the bottom of the toilet. And it did not look good. It was like kind of mushy, you know? And I went to the guy and I said, you know, I don't want to get anybody in trouble, but just in case there's a somebody dropped a deuce in the toilet. And he's like, well, it's not that big a deal. It just means I got to hose it out and everything. And I go, well, I don't want to get anybody in trouble, but we should probably find out who did it. Because I think they might not be too healthy. It did not look good. It's for
I know my
health.
shit. This shit did not look good.
It didn't look good. They might have a problem. They may need to add a little more, fiber to their diet or something.
You know what I wonder is, like, what does that guy consider a big deal? anytime I gotta hose shit out of a toilet,
it's a big
kind
deal.
of a big deal.
He's a pretty laid back guy.
Clearly, more laid back than I. So
he kind of said it. He's like, oh, I'm pretty laid back. He's like, my wife, on the other hand, we don't want her to find out. Like, okay, you take care of it. Usually the homeowners are like, hey, camp in the yard, come inside, use our bathroom, use our shower, come on in the house and do what you need to do, right? This homeowner was a little sketchy on that. It's kind of like we were getting the vibe that she didn't really want us in the house too much. So I wake up the next morning and, as our listeners have no doubt guessed, I waited just a little bit too long to unzip my tent and step out into the morning dew. And
wait. Are you being metaphorical?
No. Yes.
Okay.
And
okay.
No. But I was prairie dogging by that point, and I was having an emergency situation. It was DEFCON 4 at this point, right? So I'm like, I saw somebody go in the house. I'm like, I got them going in the house. I go in the house. There's a line of 4 people at the toilet, right? Like outside the bathroom. I'm like, shit. Oh, I don't want to shit my pants. And I think about telling everybody what an emergency this is and let me go to the front of the line. But then I thought, now suddenly I'm going to be shit boy, right? Because I'm like, it's just going to be all week long. I'm going to be nothing but shit boy. And I don't know how much longer the person that's in there is going to be. I don't know if I got that much time, right? So I got to think of alternatives here. So I'm like, go outside.
Did you check to see if they had like a big dog? When did my dog start eating peanuts? I don't.
I was looking around for a spot, man. I was like, oh, there's got to be a spot.
You're like Kramer on the one episode of Seinfeld where he's running all over town trying to find a place to drop a deuce.
Then it occurs to me, I'm like, I would rather catch shit, pardon the pun, for shitting up the bus toilet than catch shit for shitting in my pants. And I'll hose the shit out. It's way easier than cleaning my fucking pants.
This is on me. I got this.
This is on me. I got this one. Okay. I'm the one that left a mud monkey down in the toilet. So I jump on the bus. I'm not going to
blame it on the next person.
I jump on the bus and I remember something occurs to me from a couple of years ago. A story I had heard from the old bus. The old bus had a 5-gallon bucket with a toilet seat on it for the women to pee. The men peed in a funnel in the front, and the funnel it was a funnel attached to a hose, sort of like a beer bong, and it went out the side door. But the women had
the worst beer bong ever.
Yeah, right. The women had the 5-gallon bucket with the toilet seat. And somebody once told me the story of having a shit so bad, they grabbed a sack and put the sack over the 5-gallon bucket, sat down and shit in the sack. They told somebody and then got the nickname Shazack, short for shit sack. So I was like,
Shazack.
So I get on the bus and all I could think about was finding a sack. I was like, where's the goddamn sack? A minute ago there was a sack here. I don't know where's the goddamn. So I'm going through the overhead bins. I'm like, here's a sack and dump whatever shit was in it out. I'm like, at this point, I'm thinking I still might not make it. And there's somebody in there. I'm like, damn it. And Brad happens to be on the bus too. And he goes, dude, I'm next. I got to take a piss. I was like, dude, I'm about to shit my pants. I had to shit in this here sack. So the person comes out. I dart into the place. And then I realize as I'm undoing my pants, I don't really know the logistics of this. How do you shit in a sack? I've never shit in a sack before.
You're about to learn how.
I'm about a crash course, man. It's like
a crash course.
It's like sink or swim, dude. And so I get the toilet seat open, get my pants down, I get the sack around behind me, and I'm like, I've never studied the trajectory of poop. Plus, not all poops are the same. Sometimes it just comes flying out. Sometimes it's a nice, like, you're dropping a bomb over Plastic City, you know.
Some soft serve ice cream just kind of like, swirls out.
Sometimes it's like, sometimes it's like trying to hit a swimming pool from 30,000 feet with a soft serve ice cream, right? And then other times,
no diving.
No diving. And then still other times, it's like you're, there's a forest fire and you're dropping a big, fire retardant over the entire forest, right? So I'm like, I got this sack back there just praying that I got my shit together, right? It's like, so I'm crouched. I'm not even sitting on the seat, and I hear it hitting the sack, and I'm like, thank God it's going in the sack. I don't feel it hitting my ankles. I'm like, this might take a minute. And I'm like, I deserve this for making fun of dogs. Anytime you see a dog take a shit, it looks like they're fucking having an epileptic seizure. And they're all like, "Ooh!" That was me. I'm crouched over, my knees are shaking. I finally get sat down in a way that I still got the sack, and I'm like, I hope none falls into the toilet because I will have gone through all this trouble, and there will still be Duke in the bottom of this thing. And then about that time, there's a bang on the outside of the bus, like right next to the toilet. Like, hey, I told you I had to take a piss, you dick. I'm like, shut up, man. I was about to shit my pants. I'm shitting in a sack right now. He's like, you're shitting in a sack? He's like, how does that work? It's like, I barely know myself. Just shut up.
I'll explain it later.
I'll explain it later. He's like, don't you hate it when you're trying to drop a deuce and somebody in the next stall is talking to you? Like, yeah, so go away. So I finally get it done, and then I realize wiping is going to be an issue, because if I let go of one side of the sack, it's gonna fall and spill Duke all over the place. So I have to stand up, put the bag of shit on the floor, and do my wiping. It was a mess, dude. It was a mess. It was crazy. So I double bagged it and snuck it out. I used the same technique I used to get beer out of a beer garden. Like,
oh yeah,
have the decoy, put the decoy in your dominant hand in case somebody sees you. And then
I don't want to know what you
put
in your dominant hand.
And then the bag of shit's in the other hand. I'm carrying something interesting in my right hand. I got the bag of shit in my left hand in case anybody looks at me. And I'm like, hey, how you doing? I'm just holding this interesting thing in my right hand. And I made it all the way over to the trash. Thankfully, it wasn't full. I didn't have to balance it on top of like a full trash can.
Hope it doesn't fall open.
Yeah. So that was the beginning of my day.